In a motion filed on Wednesday, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs want a judge to overturn his recent conviction or grant him a new trial.
Diddy just got hit with a legal reality check. And let's just say, it wasn't the answer he was hoping for. After trying to finesse his way out with a time-served request, the judge didn't just deny it, they made it crystal clear. He's not walking out that easy. This latest courtroom moment left Diddy stunned, and insiders say he genuinely thought his time behind bars so far would be enough. But the judge, not buying it. Now the clock is ticking, and the sentence is far from over. Let's break down exactly what happened in that courtroom and what it means for Diddy's next move. Because the game just changed. Diddy showed up to court with a strategy. Ask for credit for the time he's already served and hope it cuts his sentence short. His legal team argued that he'd already spent enough time behind bars during the investigation and pretrial, and that it should count toward his final sentencing. But the judge wasn't having it. According to multiple legal sources close to the case, the court made it very clear time served wasn't going to be a factor. Why? Because this isn't just about jail time. It's about the severity of the charges. We're talking serious allegations tied to trafficking, coercion, and financial influence, not something you get a slap on the wrist for. And while Diddy's team tried to position him as cooperative, the prosecution countered with a whole different story. They pointed to the amount of evidence, the testimonies, and the patterns of behavior that kept resurfacing, basically painting a picture that said, this wasn't a one-time mistake, this was systematic. What really caught people off guard, though, was how confident Diddy looked walking into that courtroom. Sources say he truly believed the judge would be lenient, but when the denial came through, Diddy reportedly looked frozen, like it hadn't even crossed his mind that the court would push back this hard.
In the filing, Combs' lawyers argued the encounters were consensual, not prostitution. They argue he did not have a financial motive.
This is a huge blow for him, not just legally, but also emotionally. Diddy's been trying to keep some control of his public image throughout all this, but with this denial, the cracks are starting to show. After the judge shut down his request for time served, Diddy's legal team immediately shifted into damage control mode. According to insiders, they weren't expecting such a hardline stance, and now they're scrambling to build a new defense strategy before the final sentencing hits. This denial also signals that the court is taking the allegations very seriously. In fact, legal experts are saying it's a clear sign the judge isn't swayed by celebrity status or flashy defense tactics. The message? You don't get a shortcut just because you're Diddy. Now, behind the scenes, sources say Diddy's lawyers are weighing their next options. Appeals? Possibly delaying sentencing? Maybe. But the truth is, the denial already shifted the tone. This isn't just a PR crisis anymore. This is a legal storm, and the window for soft landings is closing.
We made the argument that we have to, under the case law and the statutes in this area, that this is an exceptional reason and that Mr. Combs should be considered for release on bail because of it.
What's even more telling is how quiet his camp has gone. No new statements, no spin on the outcome. It's like they're regrouping in real time and probably realizing the usual playbook won't work here. Because with time served off the table, the conversation has turned from how soon can he get out to how long will he actually be in?
Because they're trying to figure out the timing. And when October 3rd hits, he'll be at about like a year of time served. He was arrested back in like September, I believe it was September. And the reason why that's important is because prosecutors are saying, okay, we think that he should be getting anywhere from 51 to 63 months, which is 4 to 5 years. The defense is arguing 21 to 27 months, so that's a little bit over 2 years, but a lot of reports that I've been seeing are predicting that it'll be less than 2 years with the time served. It'll be less than 2 years, and that he could potentially be predicting, what they're predicting is he could be coming home by Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Also, let's not forget, this case has a long list of people involved. If Diddy thought a reduced sentence would calm things down, the judge's decision might have done the opposite. Insiders connected to the case are now saying that more testimonies, more victims, and even more federal attention could follow if this gets dragged out any longer. While Diddy's team reels from the judge's decision, another major shift might be brewing. And it's coming from someone who kicked this all off, Cassie. Sources close to the situation say that after watching the judge deny Diddy's request for time served, Cassie might be considering taking another step forward, legally or publicly. And honestly, It makes sense, because up until now, a lot of what she's shared has lived in lawsuits, settlements, and quiet documents. But if Diddy ends up serving real time, it could open the door for a bigger, more public reckoning.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking.
Cassie has already paved the way for others to come forward. But now that the court is clearly treating the charges seriously and not giving Diddy any special treatment, insiders say she's feeling more supported, more seen, and way more confident in her stance. It's also worth noting that Cassie's team has stayed relatively low-key since the initial legal dust settled. But now, the vibe is shifting. If Diddy is looking at serious time behind bars, there's a real chance Cassie could finally speak more freely. Interviews, public appearances, maybe even testifying if more charges emerge. And it's not just Cassie. People connected to her case, other alleged victims, and even former employees are starting to resurface online.
Diddy right now is doing his best Michael Jackson impersonation and basically moonwalking the hell out of jail. So what do we know about Diddy? He ain't a racketeer. They're not catching him on the RICO Act. He ain't the mafia. He's not conspiring with anybody. He's not guilty of sex trafficking. The only thing he is actually guilty of is being a freaky piece of crap.
Some are resharing older claims. Others are hinting that more is coming. Basically, the judge's refusal to grant Diddy an easy out just lit a fire. And that silence that hovered over the case for months, it's starting to break. Now that the judge has officially denied Diddy's request for time served, things are getting serious. This isn't just a delay tactic being shut down. It's a direct signal from the court that they're not playing around. Diddy might have walked into this hoping his influence could soften the blow, but this decision shows that things aren't bending in his favor. At least not yet. And with more legal eyes watching the case unfold, any move he makes from here on out will be under even heavier scrutiny. This denial could also put pressure on others connected to the case, especially those who've stayed quiet. The industry's been unusually silent, but that silence? It's starting to feel like fear. That's it for today's video. What do you think this means for Diddy going forward? Is the court finally starting to push back against the celebrity power shield? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more updates on the way, and trust us, you won't want to miss them.